Thank you everybody. Thank you Seema ji. Thank you all the organizers. I'm sorry we reached late and we slept at 3 o'clock and I developed some fever. So maybe you may not be able to see the same energy you have seen otherwise in my other speeches. So I'm sorry about that. We are traveling non-stop. I don't know where to begin from, because I myself, today, I'm going to talk about some very important things with you guys. And I'm standing on a land in this great country of Germany, which has seen what it means to be inhuman and which has witnessed what it means to be human. This is the only country in the world which has seen both inhumanity and humanity. This country is a great example of when, because of racist people, because of crazy people, because of egoistic people who believe that every other person is evil, people who live with tribal consciousness and who believe that any other tribe other than mine is wrong, evil, and therefore they don't have a right to exist either on this earth, or they have to live as my ideological or religious slave. The history of humanity is almost recorded, which can be referred to, where there are some evidences, which is very obvious. History of humanity is about 10,000 years old. In these 10,000 years, there has not been even one single day, not even one single day, please, I'm underlining it, when there has not been a war on this earth, planet Earth. Somewhere or the other, there has been a war. Even now, as I stand here, there are 5-6 wars are going on in this world, but you are aware only of one which media is showing you. You are aware of Russian and Ukraine war. But you don't know how many other wars. Do you know of war which is going on in Africa? Nobody would know. Do you know of the war which is going out in Far East Asia? You may not perhaps know about it. There has not been even one day of peace. What is the reason? The reason is that the world still suffers from tribal consciousness. The tribal consciousness is when you believe, when you don't know things, and you believe in stupid ideas, and you think everybody in this world is after me, and this whole planet and all the resources actually belong to you, and nobody else should have a right on it, and therefore you say every other tribe must be conquered and killed and looted, and their women should be raped. And the children should be killed so that this tribe doesn't evolve anymore. This is the main reason, this is the main psychology why wars have been taking place in this world. There was only one society, only one society in the entire world which thought otherwise, which said there are no tribes. There is no difference between you and I. We are all one. This entire cosmos is one. In fact, Jad and Jeev and Ishwar, तीन ही चीजें हैं इस दुनिया में. देखिए, ईश्वर है, जीव मतलब all living things, plants, you and I and animals, and they are jad, मतलब ये table jad है. Jad means something which doesn't breathe, which can't move on its own, which doesn't grow. All these are one. This concept of oneness, the consciousness of oneness, evolved in a place called Bharat. Shiva is known as Adi Purush. And this is all Shaivism. The entire philosophy, everybody says Har Har Mahadev, but people don't know what Shiva stands for. The philosophy of Shiva stands for oneness. In fact, the follower of Shiva's philosophy, later on it became Advaita. And Advaita, after many years of debate, almost 1,000 years of debate, synthesized into something which we now call Buddhism. And because of this concept, Bharat became the only society in the history of humanity which gave birth to 4 world's most peaceful religions: Hindu, Sikhism, Jainism, Buddhism. If you look at the list of last 50 years of the world's, because uske pehle ke records nahi hai, if you look at the history of last 50 years of all international agencies, security, intelligence and terror agencies, they published list of all the dreaded terrorists, people who are a threat to humanity, suicide bombers, people who blow up planes, people who go and kill young kids in a school, or people who go invade and loot other communities, or people who illegally, wrongfully destroy somebody else's places of worship. There is a count of 8 or 10 points. If you pick up those 8 or 10 points, those parameters on which it is decided that who is committing crimes against humanity, you will not find even one person who genuinely is from Hindu belief or Sanatan belief or is from Bharat. There is not even one case you will find where somebody has gone and blown himself up taking their God's name from India, from Bharat. What does it say? Every society has invaded others. Germany to khair bhuli jaiye, but everyone, even smallest of the countries, have gone and invaded somebody. All modern religions of the world in last 2,000 years have been fighting religious wars against somebody, that my religion is superior, therefore you don't deserve to exist. They have gone, destroyed their religious places, they have gone and killed those people, they have converted those peoples either with swords or by bribing them or giving them money or giving them rice bags or whatever. In Hinduism, there is no concept of converting anyone. We have never destroyed anybody's religious places. We have not taken a sword and told somebody ki you have to say this and you have to become Hindu or something like that. Now, world's most peaceful society, the society which gave the concept of oneness, which gave the concept of pluralism, which said, okay, you believe in, आपको मैं एक बड़ी मजे की बात बताता हूं कि वेदों में जो सबसे पहले ईश्वर का नाम आता है, द फर्स्ट गॉड इज प्रजापति, एंड द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन, द फर्स्ट स्पोकन वर्ड्स ऑफ प्रजापति आर हु एम आई. Even the God is also seeking himself, who am I? And therefore we are a society of seekers. I am deliberately maintaining this silence so that you can think if there is any other example in the world whose God says, who am I? Everybody's God is saying, I know I am God and I know exactly what I am doing and you blindly should follow me, don't even ask questions. And all our Upanishads are debates. I don't know how many, anybody has seriously studied Upanishads? Wow, Verma ji. Thank you, sir. If you look at them, even Nachiket, young Nachiket, his father, आप जानते हैं नचिकेत की स्टोरी? His father, वो यज्ञ कर रहे हैं and he is giving ahuti and so he says, what does it mean? He says to sacrifice the dearest thing, which is the dearest thing, which you value most. He said, then you should sacrifice me. And after sacrifice, when he reaches the God, He asked God 3 questions. Even Brahma is surprised. He doesn't know how to answer this 9-year-old kid. He says, who are we? Where have we come from? Where are we going? I don't know exact translation. But he asked question related to life, which puts even the God into great thinking, and he goes and sits in an asana and meditates and thinks, reflects, and then he comes and answers them. Every single thing which has taken birth in this great land called Bharat is based on debate and questions and answers, on inquiry, on experimentations. Even Gita, which everybody talks, what is Gita? Gita is a question and answer. Because we understood what makes us human beings is our great ability to appreciate everything which exists in the world, because ultimately everything is us and we are everything, and that is God. For example, why everything is one? For example, and we said what you see is a projection of your mind, it's all Maya. It's all Maya. And the only purpose of life is to grow from ignorance to knowledge. Ignorance is believing in Maya, कि मैं ही सबसे अच्छा हूं, बाकी सब बेकार है. For example, this desk. It is a desk because you have given it a name and a form. But what is the source of this desk? It's wood, tree. This is actually tree. If I say this is tree, there is nothing wrong, because it has exactly the same properties as the source, the tree. Just because it's got a name and a form and a context of a place, you are calling it a desk or a podium. But suppose this piece of wood was lying next to its tree or somewhere in a jungle, you wouldn't call it a podium. Similarly, we are also the same source. We have the same properties as the source which created us. And every human being in this world has the same power. That's why we said Tattvam Asi, which means Tattvam matlab you. Tattvam Asi means you are that. You are also God. Not also, you are God. And because we understood we have the same properties, same values as the God, the creator, therefore we said from ignorance move to knowledge. Knowledge doesn't mean reading books on maths and science and going to Google and researching. Knowledge here means knowledge of your own power, your own value, your own properties. And which is true. If in the dark, suppose it's dark, it's a very famous story. Every old, couple of generations before, everybody used to say that. Now people don't. So if at night, suppose if you go to the toilet and when you're coming back and there is a rope, if you're an ignorant person, you'll think it's a snake and you'll start shouting and running away from there. But if you're a knowledgeable person, you'll know it's a rope, and vice versa. An ignorant person would think, "Arey, kal to ye ropi thi, ye to rassi thi, and today, suppose there's a snake," and he would think, no, this must be rope. This is how the mind works. Therefore, we put all the emphasis that you have to, not knowing that you are God, you have to gain the knowledge of knowing that you are God. अच्छा, आप ब्रह्मा पे विश्वास करते हैं, ठीक है, ब्रह्मा की मूर्ति ले आइए, विष्णु की करते हैं, विष्णु पे कर लीजिए, गणेश पे करते हैं, गणेश पे कर लीजिए, शिवा पे करते हैं, शिवा पे कर लीजिए. आपको जिस गॉड पे बिलीव करना है आप कर लीजिए. आपको जो फॉर्म बनाना है, आपको गणेश अलग तरह से बनाना है, अलग तरह से बना लीजिए. ड्यूरिंग गणेश चतुर्थी, every Ganesh looks different in Bombay, in those pujas. During Durga Puja, every Durga has different. Whereas these closed religions which suffer from tribal consciousness, who believe there is only one God, one book, one regime, they will not understand this. Therefore, we are made, our DNA is very liberal, very open, very plural, And you see how Indians, when they go abroad, how easily they merge into the system and they pick up the best things of that system and they grow and become so successful because we do not resist other cultures. But same thing you will not find. I know so many Westerners who come to India, have been living for 15, 20 years, but they still remain where they have come from. They do not become one of us. So this pluralism is our biggest asset. So if we ask a question, what does it mean to be a Hindu? If you see it from the Western point of view, Hindu word will say religious person, religion. You will think of a tilak or something like that, but it's wrong. Those are your lifestyle practices. What you do in your life, how you dress up, that's another thing. What does it mean to have a Hindu DNA? It means, number one, believing there are no others, all are one. Second, pluralism. If there are 7.5 billion people on this earth, there are 7.5 billion ways to reach the truth. And no way is inferior or superior. Third thing, being inclusive. Include everything. और इसका मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जाम्पल बताता हूं. आप, when you go back, you do some research. Look at the food of all the world. दुनिया में जितने तरह के खाने मिलते हैं, आप उन सबको जरा स्टडी करिए. You will find we in India, whichever region of India, doesn't matter, east, north, south, west, जहां भी हो, चाहे पंजाब हो, चाहे तमिलनाडु हो, चाहे केरला हो, even the tribal food. अब मॉडर्न क्या होता है मुझे पता नहीं, पर जो ट्रेडिशनल खाना है जो मेरी माँ और आपकी माँ बनाती थी, it includes all the 5 elements of this planet. That is the concept of inclusion. If you look at Ayurveda, Ayurveda also talks about including all the elements, all the tattvas. और वो तत्व का मतलब सिर्फ जल, धरती, वायु ही नहीं है. तत्व मतलब you have come to Germany. आपके जो तत्व हैं, cultural तत्व हैं, they have changed. Your social tattvas have changed. Immediately include them. So being inclusive, being liberal, being plural, being one, believing in oneness, and not attacking others, not believing that the others are evil people, I think that is the DNA of being a Hindu. Unfortunately, this world is moving in a totally different direction. Another thing which we understood, what does it mean being a Hindu? And when I say Hindu, I talk about all those people who evolved with the evolution of Hindu civilization. Hindu civilization means the civilization which was on this side of Sindh River. Today, I know I travel a lot. I was in USA, I'm in Europe for a long time. People, even Hindus, are scared of using the word Hindu. Because the minute they say Hindu, in the West, they start thinking, why aren't you talking about other religions? So it's very important for you to believe and tell your children and pass this information to the next generation. That being Hindu means being human. Our religion is humanity. And what is humanity? If I ask you, I guarantee all of you, most of you, will give very Western definition. By human means have empathy for others. What does it mean having empathy for others? Because the entire Western society is anthropocentric society. Anthropocentric society means believing that only human beings are the superior people, and we are in this world to dictate how the planet should be run, what animals should do, what everything. We are in control. We are the masters of this planet Earth. That's an anthropocentric point of view. What is our view? What is our view? We are one. Be kind. Yeah, boliye. Right. Our belief is nobody is superior and nobody is inferior. Because we are all one. इसीलिए हमारे यहाँ कहते हैं कण कण में है भगवान. In every particle there is God. Therefore you should be kind. And you should learn to coexist with every kan on this cosmos. Am I right? Kan kan mein hai Bhagwan, aapne suna hoga. Which is why we said Vasudev Kutumbakam. I mean, this entire cosmos is one big family. In one big family, there is no discrimination. And it is the responsibility of everybody else to do Jan Kalyan, Sarva Kalyan, so that everybody prospers together. Isn't this our thinking? Every politician talks about it. Every religious guru talks about it. Every Indian, wherever they go, they talk about it. Vasudev Kutumbakam, Vasudev Kutumbakam. But do you even know when we say that every particle is God? Then a lot of today's parents even hesitate telling their children this. We do not propagate our theory everywhere in the world. मैं कल से परसों से जब से आया हूँ सब मुझे बता रहे हैं what is the greatest quality of being a German. ब्रिटेन गया था, they were telling me what is the greatest quality of being a British. पर जब कोई भारत आता है we fail to tell them what is the greatest quality of being a Hindu. I say the greatest quality of being a Hindu is being a seeker, which means that we have experimented with life. We are the first scientists of the world. जिसको आप ऋषि बोलते हैं वो ऋषि नहीं है, ऋषि तो टर्म है, उसका हिंदी संस्कृत का टर्म है. Actually it means scientist. Shiva was also rishi. He was a scientist. So all these rishis did experiments 5,000 years ago and they found that every kana, every particle has God, is God. Now cut to filmy language, it means transition to today's time. What is the modern science saying? What is God particle? What is God particle? What is the quantum physics, the most modern science today, the particle science is saying? It's saying that the smallest particle, the atom, has the same quality and power as the entire energy of the cosmos. Which means in the smallest particle and this entire unimaginable, incomprehensible cosmos with multiverses has the same power. So 5,000 years ago, what our scientists understood, the West is discovering now. People are believing in it more, and I'm surprised that even the Hindus are also saying, oh, acha, it's a new discovery. No, it's not. We understood it. मैं आपको एक और एग्जाम्पल बताता हूं, you can tell your children. In this world, there are many ways, life science, medical sciences, how to cure a disease. And I'm not comparing what is better, what is not better. I'm just showing you two perspectives so that you understand what it means to be a Hindu. There is allopathy and there is Ayurveda. Let's just look at these two things. Allopathy evolved or invented or discovered, whatever, by cutting dead bodies. When somebody was dead, he was thoughtless, feelingless, when his body was not functioning. And after that, you cut it, understand the organs and everything, and that's how allopathy evolved. How was Ayurveda evolved? How yoga and Ayurveda evolved? Just by observing living people. Living people. Nobody cut anybody. And by observing living people, we understood how to take care of your organs. Acha, digestion mein problem hai to ye kar lo, yoga. And these are slow processes. And we invented a holistic science. Holistic doesn't mean whole, not W-H-O-L-E. H-O-L-I, holy. Holy word jante na? The world's holy means the most sacred. the holistic science of health. Which is why I was reading in an American journal, science journal, I was reading somewhere, they conducted some research. They asked so many doctors all over the world in the West. They said, what does it mean to be healthy? No doctor could define it. All they said was not being sick or not coming to hospital. So anybody who's not going to a doctor is a healthy person according to them. Anybody who's not eating any medicine is a healthy person according to them. So suppose you have viral fever and you take some medicine, it gets cured, but your mind is full of jealousy, hatred. You are burning your mind inside. But according to allopathic science, you are a healthy person. If you are not claiming your health insurance, you are a healthy person. But how Hindus understood this, being healthy? ये तो आपको मुझे बोलने की भी जरूरत नहीं, आप सबको पता होगा ये. तन मन धन. You cannot be healthy if your mind is scattered, going everywhere, here, there. That's why we said meditate. Meditation is a part of health. It's not spirituality. First of all, spirituality has nothing to do with meditation. I mean, people who understand properly, spirituality and meditation are two different things. Meditation is part of yoga. Spirituality is something else. That's why we talked about, second concept we talked about, tan, man, then tan. That is balanced diet. Sattvic Jivan Shailee, which means na zada, na kam, just balanced. And there is science, there are formulas for that. And third is dhan. Dhan here does not mean actually the money. Dhan here means greed and desire. Getting rid of greed and desire makes you healthy. Buddhism पूरा उसी से निकला. पूरा Buddhism जो है इसी philosophy का part है. Actually Buddha was a yogi. And from Advaita he synthesized and he said, let's get to know mind. All the problems in this world are created by mind. Because if you look at a lake and there are ripples in the lake at night, you see 5,000 moons. नहीं? Lake में आप देखिए कितने सारे moons दिखते हैं. But he said the moon is only one. Similarly, our mind is like that lake, always has thoughts and worries and all that. So we see there are 1 billion problems in the world. So have no mind, have no thought. And how you have no mind? By getting rid of greed and desire. Am I right? Now the world's best medical services, medical facilities, best doctors in the world are all in the West. And what is this entire planet is suffering from? The entire planet is suffering from greed and desire, from hyper-materialism, from hyper-consumerism. Today, I can guarantee you have things which you have not even used in last 5 years. This is what it means to be a Hindu. This is what I believed in. And therefore, once I understood that if the world has to prosper, if that religious terrorism has to have an answer, if the killings, mad killings, invasions, looting, all these things have to stop, the only answer to this world peace is Hindu philosophy of oneness. And once I understood that, I said, what is the point of understanding this if I am not going to use it for the benefit of humanity? And that's when about 10, 11 years ago, Pallavi and I sat down and we took a decision. We committed to ourselves that without wanting anything in return, we will spread this message of humanity. And since then, first thing we did was we resigned mentally from Bollywood. Second thing we said, that we will use our art to convey to the world. First, our first mission was to tell the world what does it mean to be inhuman. Because if I tell you humanity, आप सुन के चले जाएंगे, because nobody can visualize humanity. We have not seen humanity around us. Then how will you know what is humanity? So the first thing is, if you want somebody to understand the importance of something, show them the absence of that thing. अगर किसी चीज की वैल्यू बच्चे को सिखानी है, उससे वो चीज ले लो. तो we thought the best thing is to show people what does it mean to be inhuman. And in the Kashmir Files, we showed how does it feel when the humanity ceases to exist? When religious fanaticism or terrorism or radicalization takes you over. Amongst me are sitting Ajay ji. He has lost the dearest person any son can have in this world to religious terrorism. But he is always smiling. He didn't go and attack anyone. He did not slap anyone. I have never seen him abusing anybody. Even his people who took life of his, the dearest person in his life. And before this film released in November, around first week of November, we said we will travel all over the world. We'll make people understand what has been done to the most peaceful society of the world by invaders, by these fanatic people. And since then, we have not stopped. I have a broken knee. I have not gone for surgery, and it's become worse and worse. Even when I'm standing right now in front of you, I am suffering from high fever. But we are going on and on and on and on. I know, चलिए तो मर नहीं तो कर लेंगे, but it's very difficult on Pallavi, but she has not left me. She's non-stop, we are doing it. We are going everywhere. Even if there are 10 people to listen to us, we go and we pass on this message. And we are doing only this. I want to create an awareness in this world. I want people to know that the answer to terrorism and to world peace is, if it has to come, it has to come, I'm not saying from India, from Bharat, by Bharati, but by the principles of Hinduism. In the end, I just want to tell you, a lot of people have been asking me this, भाई आप क्यों करते हैं, आपको क्यों करना है, आप तो कश्मीरी भी नहीं है. जैसे कि कश्मीर भारत में ही नहीं है. अरे आपकी फिल्म तो हिट हो गई, सुपर हिट हो गई, पर अगर आप पिछले 6-7 महीने के इतना पैसा कमा लिया, पर आप लोगों को पता नहीं इसलिए बोलते हैं. बट इफ यू लुक एट ऑल द वीडियोज एंड ऑल द फोटोग्राफ्स ऑफ लास्ट 10 years, you will find me, I still wear the same shoes. Look at all the pictures. I gave up color in my life. When I started Kashmir Files, I stopped wearing any color. You check any in last 4 years, any photo, I have not even touched any color. You know why? Because black absorbs the pain. I want to absorb the pain of my brothers and sisters who have not got the kind of dignity and respect which they definitely deserve. And this is my fight against everybody. Swami Vivekananda said, everybody knows Swami Vivekananda. He said, give me 100 committed young people, and I will ensure this world is full of peace based on Hindu principles. In his time, he did not get 100 people who could commit themselves to this cause. And I said, in his time he couldn't get it, but I will be one of those volunteers who will commit his life to this cause. We have committed ourselves, we have dedicated ourselves. Whatever we are doing it to this end. But we are only 2 people. We are only 2 people. How much can 2 people do? I would want to believe. I want to go back from Frankfurt believing, feeling assured that we are not just 2 people. All of you are with us for the same cause. In the end, I want to thank, कहते हैं जिंदगी में कई बार कुछ लोग भगवान बन के आ जाते हैं, they come as a savior. कल रात को वर्मा जी यहाँ बैठे, he came as a savior, he showed godlike behavior, godlike properties. I want to thank you, Verma ji, for that from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank Seema ji for taking this initiative. I want to thank Ajay ji. I want to thank Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora, which has stood by us. And I want to thank all of you wonderful people. Satyamev Jayate. Dhanyavad.